Did you have any indication that your freshman year was going to be his last year during the recruiting process?
Yeah. No, he told me.
Okay. You knew ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a bunch of games that year. It was my first year of retirement.
I remember seeing you.
Yeah. My favorite was the Miami game that y'all lost at home. I told this story when we had Jason Tatum on the pod, but there's bad body language in the second half. Coach comes over. You guys are sitting down. He comes over, and all he says in the timeout is, "I hate your fucking faces."
I remember that.
Coach, the motivator.
Mm-hmm.
And we were actually talking off camera about after a loss, those 4 days in between games in college, how brutal they are. Was there anything he ever said to you that really just like hit home with you in terms of his motivation tactics, or even yelling at you?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple different ones. Preseason, during the season. One that I always think, and every time it happened, like I would be pissed off, but like it's Coach K, so I'm like, man, like all right, like this is legendary at the same time as it is frustrating, you know. But there was one time in the preseason, it was like probably late September, mid-October, so like we're practicing, just getting started practicing, and we had played 5-on-5 that day, or the day before, sorry. And he had the chairs out with the TV screen in the middle of the court and watch film the next day. And so he turns the screen on, and I can see the clip is paused, but I have the ball. And I could already tell, like, you know, some days you can tell when Coach K is like, he's getting ready to, like, you know, get on y'all ass. You know what I'm saying? So kind of had that vibe early. And seeing the clip was paused, and it was me with the ball. So I'm like, all right, here we go. Like, he's probably about to get on me. And I didn't play that bad in the scrimmage, but like I was kind of sluggish. I was scoring, but like my intensity, especially on defense, wasn't really there. And he just took the whole 20, 25 minutes and grilled me like the whole time. Clip after clip after clip. Like even clips I'm scoring, he's like, look how you're moving. You're sluggish. You mosey up and down the court. Then it's another clip where like I just dribble the hell out of the ball and like don't get anything. And he's like, see, this is your problem. That soft-ass West Coast Seattle shit. This isn't the fucking Seattle Pro-Am. Nobody wants to watch you dribble up and down the court.
That sounds like a coach
and
thing.
I was like, he really just said the Seattle Pro-Am, like, because I had just played in the Pro-Am in July. And so he knew that. And so I was just like, man, like, all my teammates found that hilarious. So they all got on me after practice about that. But
I was with Coach over Thanksgiving. Stopped by his house to see him and Mickey, and we spent some time together just catching up, kind of seeing how he's doing, to be honest with you. This is a big transition for him, obviously. And we were talking about the one and done era and then transitioning into NIL, transfer portal, just how much college basketball has changed. And he actually said, of all the one and done guys, he felt like you, Tatum, and Zion were like the best. He always talks about unpacking your bags. You know what I mean? Being fully committed. Like, how difficult is it knowing that you're going to be a top pick in the June draft to sort of have your feet in place and be focused in the moment as a one and done guy?
Yeah. For me, it wasn't as difficult. You know, I like made a concerted effort to like not think about it, you know, and like be bought in. Like I think as a team, like we really wanted to win. Like, I think coming off that COVID year, you know, they were, I think 13-13 or 13-11 to finish. Didn't make the tournament. So like us freshmen coming in, me, AJ, Trevor, and then all the guys coming back, like we wanted to win. So that's what all I was thinking about the whole year. Like we wanted to win. We wanted to be, you know, in the Final Four, which we got there. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you think about it like, you know, the mock drafts come out as the season goes and you see them. But like for me, it was more just you know, you have to be all the way invested. Like Coach K is just too much of like if you're not, he's going to sniff it out and he's just going to eat you alive. Like if you are not invested, like he's going to know right away. So I feel like you have to.
We talked about this with Zion a little bit too. Did you guys feel like you had a target on your back there? Just because of, not in a bad way, but just because being at Duke, being number 1, number 2 players in the country, things like that, where it was like every game, it's like that show is coming to town and teams were getting up for it?
Yeah. I mean, every game, every team we played, you know, whether it was the whole team or a player on the opposite team was like having the game of their life. You know, like the game you came to, Miami, like we watched a bunch of film on them. Like we didn't play good, like, but at the same time, like they came in hot, you know, just and confident. Like that's just the way teams come in. You know, being in Cameron Indoor, like that's the biggest game of their season. And I think for the most part, we were always aware of that. But like some games, you know, we slipped up and lost a few. But yeah, you definitely get every team's best effort.
I actually felt so bad for you guys the whole season, and I wonder if you felt there's always a burden, and I'll want to talk about your comments to RJ about that in a second. But I think there's always a burden playing at Duke. For college basketball, it's very high pressure.
Yeah.
Last season there was the added, pressure because it was coaches last year, and I didn't have a great record last year. I was at the Miami game. I was at the Carolina Final Home game. I was at the ACC championship.
Sheesh.
And I was at the Final Four.
Sheesh. 0-4.
Think we know the comment.
0-4. Damn.
How much did you feel that extra burden though?
Yeah, we felt it. Like I said, most of the year we didn't. But I mean, I've never felt to this day a game like that last game at home. Like that was crazy. Like just being on the court and like just the amount of pressure and like expectation we had, like we didn't even really practice or like game plan that week. Like it was just so much going on around coach and, you know, people coming in and reporters, like a bunch of media, like the most media, you know, we had all year was during that week. And yeah,
96 former players at the
game.
Like trotting out on the court before the game. The whole time, the pregame, I'm trying to think like if it was a player, my routine was so important.
Yeah.
That game, y'all's shit was just so fucked up.
Yeah. And it kind of threw us off a little bit. And I mean, and then once they started coming back, we got a lead early, but like once they started to come back and gain momentum, it was like, that's when the pressure just, you know, grew to its largest because we knew if we didn't come back or if we didn't respond, like just the weight of the whole world was on us. And, Jesus, you know, when we didn't, I mean, it was tough, man, because we knew the season wasn't over. Obviously, we had bigger goals, but like that was a game like you can't lose. And so that was kind of our mentality. I feel like we were trying not to lose more than we were trying to win.
What was the locker room like after that game?
It was tense, man. It was tense. I mean, we was sitting there, sitting there waiting for coach. You know what I'm saying? And then coach came in. He was frustrated. I mean, he wasn't happy. And, we felt like we let him down. Felt like we let everybody down. It was rough. I can't lie.
You certainly let me down. I'm kidding. Actually, I thought the game in New Orleans, which I also, I went to, was one of the best college basketball games I've seen in the last 10 or 15 years. That was just high level basketball. We lost to a team that was playing
ridiculous.
Great. Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah. The shot making down the stretch from them was awesome. My anger is not towards you guys. My anger is the rest of our lives. We have to live with the fact that Carolina beat us, coach's last home game, and his Final Four last game.
No, that, I mean,
I'm just glad they lost the championship, to be honest with you. Like that at least had some silver lining.